I think moving on, let's talk about what was going on in Marvel this week. A lot of stuff happened like in the news. Again, we're a little trying to transition into some more like broad general stuff. We just don't really have the time as of right now to be doing like, all breakdowns like every single day. So I think discussing the news kind of podcast style is the best way to go. So Matt, is there anything that you noticed or anything you wanted to kind of lead off with, and we can kind of just riff off of that for a little bit, whatever was going on in Marvel that you really took interest in?
I think the most alarming piece of news I've come across in the past couple weeks is that Doctor Strange 2 is only going to be 2 hours and 6 minutes.
It's such a short amount of time.
And I'm like, what does this mean? I don't even know what this implies for how many surprise characters they include, like how long they'll be included for, because, I mean, as you remember, Toby and Andrew got like 30 plus minutes of screen time. So, like, are we just going to get like, or is it just going to be an absolute like tour of like different dimensions and we're getting interacting with a bunch of different surprise characters, or are they going to bring in like one or two that are mainstays for the plot? Or I don't know what's going to happen, but like 2 hours and 6 minutes, like they got to jump right into the plot. They just snowball that thing immediately.
Dude, they really do it. And I'm very fortunate that we had WandaVision and then also Spider-Man that kind of hinted at this movie coming a long ways. And so I think they will dive right into it. And I just think with the 2 hour, really the 2 hour mark, unfortunately, I think it's going to be a little bit shorter for the cameos, for the different realities they're hopping across. Obviously, it's not going to be like the 30-minute segments we have with Toby or Andrew, but probably something a little bit shorter. And from what I've heard, from really like the lack of things out there, it's like we have some possible ideas for who's going to be in it, but we don't really know enough where we're really having the same expectations of who we hope to be in it like we did for Spider-Man. So I think there's going to be more surprises for this movie. The other one, there was a lot of hype moments because we had what was expected and we tried to live up to that. It was awesome. This one, I think we're still going to have those hype moments, but it's going to be mainly because of like surprise cameos and characters that we didn't really not necessarily thought about or kind of somewhat speculated, but didn't really have enough, I'd say, information behind it to really make it concrete, Yeah,
I don't know. I think this movie is going to be one complete surprise. We can theorize all we want, but they can just run in so many different directions with it. We'll just have to wait.
And I think like as a little background, I think it was probably last week that this happened, but the tickets came out for Doctor Strange, and I was away like in the office on a client site, so I was not able to get the tickets. And Matt, do you kind of want to walk through the scenario, what all went down? Because I heard like a brief segment of it, but I don't know what you, Milan, and Jorge were really up to. So I kind of like elaborate on the whole shit show that happened again.
The day started as an ordinary Wednesday morning. Woke up at like 8:15, slammed my alarm, multiple times, knowing that I had to actually be up no later than 8:55 in order to get these tickets because they're coming out at 9 EST. And I stumbled to my computer half awake, pulled up the site. But managed to be one of the first ones that got in, and I thought I had managed to get 15 tickets, and I thought I was taking me to the next step in the process where I would pay. And then, of course, I got booted back to the back of the line, and I had to wait 7 minutes. Meanwhile, our two other friends who were seeing the movie with us were trying to get tickets simultaneously. They couldn't get in. We spent probably 45 minutes to an hour figuring out how to get 19 tickets in the same location in the theater.
Now, do we know 19 people? No, we don't have that many friends, but just
so we're inviting
the idea.
Fans to come out and
whoever likes and subscribe all our videos, you will be joining us. Please. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but you will be joining us for the premiere.
Please. But yeah, so we're seeing it in IMAX, 19 of us on a Saturday night. And I mean, it's better than last time. Better seats than Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Ryan and I were like fourth row for Spider-Man, but I think this time we're going to be like back 2 rows in IMAX. So
to actually see like all the audience reactions unfold whenever we're there, I am looking forward to that. So the movie comes out technically, the midnight screening on like a Thursday. So really it's releasing on a Friday, but because of Fandango crashing once again and us seeing it in a very popular IMAX theater in New York, we had to go Saturday, and we definitely prefer like the seats over kind of, seeing, the opening night. Obviously, yes, it's great, but I still think like the theater will be packed. It's going to be sold out. So it's still going to have as good of reactions. 8 o'clock at night, you think other people are kind of giving up their evening or part of their their weekend plans to go see this movie. So, they're very invested in it as well. So like for all, if we're able to get 19 of us to go to this movie, like it's going to be absolutely electric. And based on what we described already from some of the things of who knows who we're going to see, it's going to be so much happening in those 2 hours. But I think shame on you, Fandango, for crashing once again. We anticipated it, but for 3 people to not even be able to get opening night seats, I mean, it just goes to show how popular of a movie it is. So it's going to be pretty cool. It's going to be pretty electric.
They got to fix that, man. They got to figure out how to deal with high volume of traffic on their site. Because
it's really only for Marvel. And it seems that like with the number of like recurring like character upcoming projects, so for Doctor Strange, Thor, I imagine that's going to crash as well, knowing the people that are going to be in the movie. It's going to be probably, again, like another high volume one in July, and so we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But like it just always happens with Fandango for these big ones, and it's probably going to be even more frequent is I think what you're trying to get at, and I agree.
So I'm actually looking at the theater now, and it's completely sold out except for the first 2.5 rows.
Let's go!
Which makes sense, because I wouldn't definitely need to go to the chiropractor the next morning if I saw it in one of the first 3 rows.
I felt that for Spider-Man, my neck was like slightly tilted by the end of it, so I was walking out.
Yeah, but I agree with what you said about like getting a better view of the audience's reaction, because like, I think in that environment, we all feed off each other's energy. So sitting in the back, we'll literally could see everybody's reaction.
Yeah.
So I think we kind of need to be like the conductors of the orchestra, so to speak. Like we're gonna pull up in our onesies. Are you not entertained?
Yeah, we got to think about what we're gonna dress as, how we're gonna go. I don't know. Do you want to go Spider-Man onesie, or maybe something like I was thinking of going just in a full suit, strictly professional business, as if I was going for like a business meeting.
Well, I think we're gonna go out after, so I'm actually 100,000% down to just pull up in like full on tuxedo.
Yeah. I think that would be.
Let's get some Eye of Agamotto necklaces.
I was thinking we have like a few people in our group just come with like cameras, like flashing lights to make it seem we're actually popular actors going into the theater.
Hilarious. We got some spare cameras. I'm so down for that.
It's just one of those. I think we'll just do one of those what was it? Those easy. It's not the Polaroid cameras, but the disposable. Just get the disposable cameras, no film in it at all, but just going around clicking it. I think that would be amazing to go in as a great bit.
Dude. And then people are like, who are you guys? Like, what do you do? And we're like, that's it. That's our secret. We don't do anything.
We should just have a business card that we give out for our TikTok account. I'm like, we got 200 followers, baby.
A really awkward selfie of us on it. No other information.
That would be amazing to go into, and like that we have a lot of things to discuss beforehand, and I absolutely can't wait. It's less than a month away, and I know time's gonna fly by, and we'll be up there sooner than we know it. So it's gonna be a lot of stuff, and I think also whenever they drop the tickets, they drop really like a featurette, or like really like the last teaser for it. And did you see, I don't know if you looked at that teaser or anything, but did you notice if you did you notice anything new that we haven't seen before?
It seems like people are fairly certain that Defender Strange is going to die.
Yeah, it doesn't look good for him. It doesn't look good.
And as hinted at in one of our most recent TikTok videos, what is it called? The counterpart to the Darkhold.
Oh, the Book of Ashanti.
Yes. It seems like there are some hints that the Book of Ashanti may be used to counteract some dark magic.
Yeah,
right?
we have not been introduced to it in a TV show quite yet, and there's really not a whole lot on it within the comics, but the only thing that makes us hint towards this is that it seems, and it would make sense if, Chavez, Defender Strange, R. Strange, whoever, is going to look at this to counteract the spells from the Darkhold, and based on, it radiates or illuminates kind of like this big glowing light whenever it's being used. It's the opposite of the Darkhold. So it makes sense the light coming around that little object we see in the poster, then also in the trailer. That seems what it's going to be. And within that little pocket dimension, one of the last things I noticed is that we kind of have our last hint on who I believe to be Featurette. He's kind of this evil deity that rests in his own dimension, I believe, the Crimson Cosmos. And many people believe it is him because the bands that have America Chavez tied up in one of those trailers, if you remember, is parallels the bands that Doctor Strange used within Infinity War and trying to get the gauntlet off of Thanos. And so those are kind of one of the few things that I saw with that was that new creature in that little pocket dimension has America Chavez, Defender Strange bolting towards whoever in order to find it, and they have that one demonic creature chasing after them. That was one of the scenes I saw. The other one, which is really cool, was Doctor Strange using the Eye of Agamotto as well. Kind of with the eye, it started to glow in kind of this gold color instead of the green color. And I think, before it housed the Infinity Stone. That's really what we thought it was only intentional for. But the eye has a lot more power to that. It's known as the Eye of Truth in the comics. And within the Eye of Truth, it kind of lets it see through illusions, see through disguises. So if you had a scroll, let's say, a scroll, not a scroll, but the being the scroll from Marvel there, then it would allow the eye would allow the user to see through that disguise there to see the actual scroll that's disguised as a human or whoever it may be. That's one of its abilities, and then really, I guess that's really its main one. So I think that Doctor Strange used it in the trailer in order to locate this pocket dimension for trying to find the Book of Ashanti. And there's also one part really early on in one of the first few trailers where it has Wanda and Strange discussing side by side in that little utopia garden that she has. And then it moves from the kind of all the trees with the white flowers to then all in red. And that's whenever Wanda has her Scarlet Witch uniform on, and she says, it doesn't seem fair, does it? And that's whenever I think that possibly Doctor Strange is using it again to see through the disguise that Wanda may have put up right there with that facade, making it seem that everything's going a lot better than it actually is. Who knows? But with the Eye of Truth there, the Eye of Agamotto, it allows the user to see through disguises, project the truth, and then also it ties into Sinister Strange's third eye appearing because the wearer in the comics, the wearer of the Eye of Agamotto, typically the eye will appear on their forehead, or they can project that onto others as well. So it makes me think that the Eye of Agamotto still around, it's still being used. Many people thought it was crushed during Infinity War whenever Thanos said it was a fake, but most likely the fake was the eye itself, and so it's still around, and we saw it in Spider-Man and now this movie. So those are only two things I really noticed from there that I just wanted to bring up that I thought was really cool to notice from this week. But it's only a matter of time before the movie comes out, and I really hope we don't get any more secrets or really any more teasers, and for that matter, any more spoilers. Because if matter I see a spoiler, I think it's not going to end well for that person.
Dude, as long as we don't have... They set the bar really low with Spider-Man. You can't... In comparison to that, they've done a great job keeping the plot of this movie a secret. So...
And a lot of the characters, too, I'm very, very happy. And, it seems that we have, Patrick Stewart almost confirmed based on the voice, but I think he pulled an Andrew Garfield with one of his more recent interviews by saying, no, that wasn't me.
Confirmed that he wasn't it.
What?
I'm pretty sure he confirmed that he wasn't it.
I thought it was the opposite. I thought he said, no, it wasn't me. But, it's... Even if it happens, or he said it, or he did.
Yeah.
Woo! all right. Well, we got that character being involved, but
He's like,
the rest of the group.
With one moment, he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm in it. Yeah, I'm in it." And then he's like,
"Oh, that's
please."
That's pretty funny. Why?
I'm not in it at all.
Why try to deny it if your voice is in it? But with the rest of like the Illuminati there, I think I'm not sure how much like effort they now put into like trying like with the trailers. I feel like the group that's probably part of the trailers now probably does a whole lot more work than they used to be doing, just considering the fact that we have so many people like literally the entire day zooming in, trying to, rebuff certain different images in order to see exactly whose face it is at times. I can't imagine the work that goes into these trailers or trying to edit things out.
I'm sure they have a team now that's like solely dedicated to misdirection in trailers.
Yeah.
Because obviously in the past we've had trailers for movies that featured scenes that didn't end up taking place. So you're left to wonder whether those were scenes that they had shot for the film and didn't end up putting in it, or if they were created solely to misdirect the audience.
I think it's got to be a little bit of both nowadays. I just think back to Infinity War whenever you had, like, in Wakanda, the Hulk, Captain America running towards the screen there. That never happened. So I think it's probably a little bit of both. They shoot it for the sole intention of misdirecting people, as you said. So I think it's definitely a combination there. But yeah, do we have anything else to add on Doctor Strange before we move on to some other news from this week, or are we ready to snap away into the next segment?
Let's snap into the next segment.
All right, here we go. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
That was good on my end.
It was great sound-wise. I hope it lines up as well as it sounded.